the range of services. So here's some of the thing. It comes down to, if I had to put two buckets, things that you as a pastor are doing that you don't want to do anymore, you're not good at, it's just not in your skill set, you don't have staff for. And then the other bucket might be things that you wish could get done, but there's no time for you to do it. You don't have staff to do it. You don't have volunteers to do it. So those are the two main buckets. And so in the bucket number one are things like the newsletter, bulletins, reaching out to social media is a big one. Yes, taking your sermons, potentially turning it into a podcast, taking your sermons, potentially clipping that up into smaller chunks for social media so the word gets out there. Things like just admin type of tasks. Peter, you were telling me that when there was a funeral, you were the one ordering flowers. When you need a sign out front of your church, you were the one researching a sign company and making, doing all that type of stuff. So data entry, any type of internet type of research, that's very easy for a VA to do. Slides for music.
Let me give you a couple examples that you just triggered. Like, we have a food ministry where people fill out a piece of paper, and we had stacks of them from over a year, about 500 of them. And I don't know if it was Jazz or she got it to somebody else, but all I did was scan them, which didn't take me but 15 minutes because we have a fast speed scanner. And then I sent the attachment to Jazz, and within a week came back an Excel spreadsheet with all the written data in all the lines. And now we're able to actually share that document with other volunteers in the church to start making phone calls and following up. So
beautiful.
Those are the kind of examples that are really sweet for me.
Yes. And your friend Chris, who's going to be signing up or already has signed up, they use a software called Planning Center. Yeah. He said that's very popular with churches. And so we're going to be helping him with taking the contact cards and getting that data inputted into Planning Center. Other things like Gary, you mentioned email, that we could totally build out an email sequence. Like if I visited your church, I'm automatically in a sequence for reaching out to me. I don't know if you meant email as far as like when a visitor comes to your church, inputting that email into your software. So that you can stay in touch with them. That was
the today task I'm working on, actually.
Okay.
So, you're making me think, Ryan, as other pastors come into this thing, I think it would be helpful if maybe we could even somehow share with one another, because we might help one another with the VA and create even more savings.
Totally. I think it just comes down to what you just said earlier, though, is this a task I should be doing? So as you're doing this, think out loud or in your head, whatever. Is this something that I as a pastor should be doing? Yes or no? If yes, do it. If no, then do it, but also put together a system or record yourself doing it that one time so that we can take it over from there, or simply say, I'm not going to do it anymore and just hand it over to us straight away. But don't just mindlessly do the things you've always been doing. Think about them. I'm about to do this task. Is this a task that I, as the pastor, should be doing? Or is this a task that I could pay somebody $7 an hour to do? Right. And that'll help you guys. I
had a conversation tonight with a few pastors, and their comment was how much. They always ask how much, and then they want to know. Then they want to know how much can they get done in time, because that's the way I think we think as American pastors or people. We think time blocks and costs. But I think the greatest thing I did that you let me do was it really is a trust factor here. This is not a business. Am I going to get ripped off? This is a relationship company as far as I look at it. And it's like, hey, let me know when I get to 10 or 20 hours or so many dollars, so I can evaluate, is this worth my continued investment of time to roll over to some. Personally, I didn't know how to gauge the time factor, because I don't know how long it's going to take somebody to do it better than I can do it, or someone else in our church that needs to not do it.
Yeah. I think
go ahead, Steve.
So I was going to say, I think this was a conversation we had with you also, was you were asking us tasking about hours, and it's a hard one for us to answer because we don't know truly what task you're doing. And
right.
I was just estimating, like, whatever hours it's taking you, roughly estimated it might take the VA to do the same. But the thing that was aha to me was, you're spending too much time doing a thing that takes somebody else like 5-10 minutes when it's taking you
Right.
hours to do. I just assume from business, like we get very efficient at the things and then we hand it off and it's we built that efficient system. But from a pastor, you were talking about ordering the signs. It was so many different tasks that you were doing that it was just inefficient for you to do it. And that's why I was like, oh, all of
Right.
that time should be handed to somebody else. So the time factor I think is very difficult to just estimate. It takes me this many hours. This is what it's going to cost. It might be a good way to start, but I think even for you, the aha moment came from like, oh, it's gone like a couple of weeks and it hasn't even hit the amount of time. How is it that I've gotten 40 hours back, but still don't owe 40 hours worth of payments? And I think it is a relationship based business. We don't know because you might come in for social media and like Peter be doing all kinds of different things. We do want to come alongside pastors and help you get your time back. Whatever the original thing is, it will evolve, it will change. Because even like Peter said, he's got a little bit of time now to think through how does it become better? How do I, instead of just being on the defense of like, I'm trying to keep my head above water, how do I now go on the attack of like, how do I make these things better? This was something that we talked to you too, Peter, about too, was just, it, we're trying to develop a process of getting pastors' times back, becoming more efficient, and then go to the third part, which is like the dream part, which I think what me and Ryan truly want to help pastors with. But you can't really start there because we couldn't have been able to
No,
go,
you
Peter,
can't.
what is the dream of your church? Let's start there, where you're like, I'm barely having enough time to breathe. How can I even think about dreaming? So I think this
Mhm.
strategy that we have is just like, let's help you get your time back, show you how to be more efficient, and then help
Yes.
you dream. But I think me and Ryan's heart is truly for helping pastors dream and grow, thrive more than just survive.
We want to help you get your time back. So click the link below to get your free download.